once the acorn does finally make it down and germinate, the oak seedlings grow very, very slow. All right, this is a 1-year oak seedling. And the reason they grow so slow is because oaks, unlike other tree species, spend a lot of the first 3 years of their life developing their root system. They're not worried about upward growth, they're worried about kicking their roots out. And it's just the physiology that they use to develop. It's advantageous because it makes them resistant to drought, and but it's a disadvantage because they're outgrown so easily. A species like sugar maple, yellow poplar, they grow their roots and their shoots at the same time. So while they're experiencing upward growth, the oak seedling is literally just kind of sitting there. It takes oak seedling several years to develop a healthy root system. I was always under the impression it's right around 3 to 4 years or so. And then at that time, then they will start their upward growth. Once they have their roots where they want it to, then they'll start worrying about trying to make it up to the canopy. And that's when your oak seedlings turn from an oak seedling to an advanced oak regeneration. That's the difference between just plain old regen and advanced regeneration, is that these oak seedlings have this developed root system that make them competitive. And it's an essential component to regenerating oak species. It's just not good enough to have a carpet of 1-year-old oak seedlings in your forest and expect those to make it. They have to turn into these more mature seedlings first. Oak advanced regeneration is, like I said, it's several years old, and it's established and competitive. And that's because they have a developed root system. And once they turn into an advanced seedling like this guy is probably 7, 8 years old. They can actually have multiple flushes per year. They can actually have a flush of their shoot growth, and they'll actually do it a couple more times. So once it turns into advanced regen, the sky's the limit as far as how much growth you can possibly get out of these things. And once they're at that level there, they're ready to be recruited into the mid-story. You're ready to try to put those into the next canopy level. And as we move forward here, we'll learn about how that's done. So these next few slides are going to talk about how does advanced oak regeneration get developed. I mean, there's one thing, just leaving it sit there and let time kind of do its thing. But that's usually they get shaded out before that happens. They usually need to be top killed, is what we call it. There's 3 ways that a seedling is top killed. They get browsed, like this picture here. You can right there is the middle of the seedling, and basically what happened was a deer or a rabbit came in there and nipped off that bud, and now you have 3 central leaders coming out of this tree. Whenever an oak seedling gets clipped like that, it automatically initiates this response for that seedling to continue to grow his roots out even further. So every time he gets clipped, he's going to kick out his roots even further. It's making a more drought-resistant seedling and a more competitive seedling every time. Fire does the same thing. We use fire, like I said, there's just a ton of benefits of burning your woods. And prescribed fire does that. It goes over the root, or it goes over the tree seedling, and like I said, it top kills it. But it does not kill the seedling. It just kind of erases that above ground mass. Again, it initiates this root development response. There is then the final way to develop advanced oak regeneration is to actually go in there and cut the trees down. In TSI, we cut oak saplings down a lot. And when we do that, we cut it down. You can see it's basically just a oak seedling attached to a mature root system. It's an immediate source of advanced oak regeneration right there. The second you cut that tree down, you get a sprout, you have an advanced oak seedling there. Stump sprouts are by far the most desirable and most competitive source of oak regeneration there is. So anytime you can make a sprout, it's very beneficial.